Less than a century ago, throwing away something that could still be repaired was almost unthinkable. During the hardest years of the Great Depression, families could not simply buy something new whenever clothes tore, tools became dull, or food was left over. They learned to repair, reuse, and make the most of nearly everything they owned. Today, many of those skills have been forgotten, but as the cost of food, utilities, and household goods continues to rise, these old lessons are becoming more useful than ever. In this video, we will explore 20 Depression-era household skills that can still help you save money today, and stay until the final skill. It requires no special tools, yet it once influenced almost every spending decision a household made. Welcome to Forgotten Home Wisdom, where we recover the practical skills, frugal habits, and household lessons that modern life has caused many of us to forget. This is not about returning to a life of hardship. It is about making better use of what we already have, saving money, and building a more self-reliant home. Let's begin with a simple skill that nearly every household once knew. The first skill is mending clothing before considering a replacement. To earlier generations, a loose seam or missing button did not mean a garment had lost its value. The key is to repair damage while it is still small. A loose seam may take only a few minutes to stitch. Continued wear and washing can make it spread and become much harder to repair. You only need a needle, a few common thread colors, small scissors, a thimble, and several spare buttons. Check seams beneath the arms, trouser hems, and the fabric surrounding buttons. Elbows and knees can also be reinforced before the fabric wears completely through. Keep a mending box somewhere easy to reach, and spend 10 minutes each month on items waiting to be repaired. The goal is not to keep everything forever. It is to avoid discarding something because of a problem that takes only minutes to fix. Before retiring an old shirt, save any buttons that are still in good condition. That small habit leads into the next skill, turning worn materials into useful household supplies. Skill number 2 is turning worn clothing and towels into reusable cleaning cloths. When an item is no longer suitable to wear, its fabric may still be useful around the home. Cotton t-shirts, old towels, and soft flannel usually work best. Avoid fabrics that shed heavily, contain hard decorations, or do not absorb moisture. First remove zippers, buttons, and metal pieces. Then cut the fabric into comfortable hand-sized squares. The edges do not need to be perfect, although fabric that frays easily can be hemmed. Separate the cloths by purpose. One group for the kitchen, one for the bathroom, and another for the garage or greasy work. Different colors or containers can prevent mix-ups. Wash them and let them dry completely after use. Cloths exposed to harsh chemicals, motor oil, or hazardous contaminants should never return to food preparation areas. Keep only the number you actually use. One organized drawer of cleaning cloths can replace many disposable paper products. That brings us to the next skill, caring for shoes so they last longer. Skill number 3 is caring for shoes before considering a replacement. Shoes often wear out quickly, not only from use, but from dirt, moisture, and small problems that go unnoticed. After wearing them, brush away dirt and allow the shoes to dry naturally in a ventilated area. Avoid placing them too close to a heater or strong heat source, which may warp materials and damage leather or adhesives. When possible, alternate between 2 pairs instead of wearing the same pair every day. Resting time allows interior moisture to escape and gives the materials time to recover their shape. Check the laces, insoles, stitching, and soles. Frayed laces or worn insoles can often be replaced separately for far less than the cost of new shoes. For leather shoes, choose a cleaner and conditioner intended for that type of leather. Test it in a hidden area first and follow the product instructions. If a sole begins separating, a heel wears unevenly, or the shoe structure is damaged, take it to a professional repair shop. Early care will not make shoes last forever, but it can stop a small problem from ending the life of the entire pair. Skill number 4 is maintaining tools before deciding they are worn out. A knife, pair of scissors, or garden tool may perform poorly simply because the edge is dull, the joint is dirty, or the metal has begun to rust. First, clean the tool according to its manufacturer's instructions and dry it completely. Dirt and moisture left on metal can increase friction and encourage corrosion. For scissors, check whether the pivot is loose or dirty. For a manual knife, use an appropriate sharpening tool, work on a stable surface, and always direct the blade away from your body. Do not attempt to sharpen lawnmower blades, power saws, or tools with complex mechanisms unless you are properly trained. Disconnect the power or remove the battery before inspection, and seek professional help when needed. After use, clean, dry, and store tools away from damp conditions. A protective product suitable for the material may help limit rust. Always follow its instructions. Maintenance cannot rescue a blade that is cracked, bent, or structurally damaged. Stop using a tool when those signs appear. The next skill applies the same principle to furniture. Address looseness before it becomes major damage. Skill number 5 is correcting looseness before a piece of furniture fails completely. A squeaking chair, loose drawer handle, or slightly unstable table does not necessarily need to be replaced. Begin by identifying exactly where the movement occurs. Place the item on a level surface, keep it out of use during inspection, and look for loose screws, open joints, or worn pads. If the problem is only a loose screw, use the correct type and size of screwdriver. Tighten only until the joint is secure. Excessive force may strip the threads, crack the wood, or damage the screw head. For a glued wooden joint, disassemble it only when the design allows, remove loose old adhesive, and choose a glue intended for the material. Hold the surfaces correctly while it cures according to the product instructions. Do not continue using chairs, beds, wall-mounted shelves, or other load-bearing furniture when structural cracks, rot, or broken connections are present. Those problems should be evaluated by an experienced professional. Every few months, inspect the furniture you use most often. Addressing one loose screw today may prevent an entire joint from failing tomorrow. Next, we will apply the same preventive habit to household appliances. Skill number 6 is maintaining appliances before a small problem becomes a large bill. Many appliances do not fail without warning. They work harder because a filter is dirty, ventilation is blocked, or a door seal no longer closes properly. Begin with the manufacturer's manual. Switch off and unplug the appliance before cleaning any user-removable part permitted by the instructions. For vacuums, air conditioners, and air purifiers, check filters on schedule and clean or replace them as directed. For a refrigerator, wipe the door gasket with a damp cloth and check that the door closes evenly. Keep ventilation space around the appliance clear, and clean condenser coils only if the manual confirms they are safely accessible to the user. A dryer's lint screen should be cleaned after every load. However, burning smells, sparks, unusual noises, hot power cords, water leaks, or a suspected gas leak are all signals to stop using the appliance. Do not remove appliance covers or attempt electrical, gas, or refrigerant repairs yourself. A brief monthly check can reduce wasted energy and reveal problems while they are still small. Next, we will move from appliances to a money-saving skill in the kitchen. Skill number 7 is seeing a second meal in the ingredients you already have. During hard times, people did not view a little rice, cooked vegetables, or leftover meat as useless. They treated it as the starting point for the next dish. The first step is not cooking, but safe storage. Cool and refrigerate leftovers properly, according to the food safety guidance where you live. Use clean containers, label the date, and place foods that should be eaten first where they are easy to see. Before shopping, check the refrigerator and plan one use it first meal. Leftover rice can become fried rice. Cooked vegetables can go into soup, eggs, or a casserole. And cooked meat can be divided among sandwiches or a stir-fry. Saving money, however, does not mean gambling with your health. If food shows signs of spoilage, has remained out too long, or you are unsure it was stored safely, discard it. Reheating does not make every spoiled food safe. Reserve one container or refrigerator shelf for foods that need attention soon. When you see them first, you use them first. Next, we will turn a simple pantry into a flexible collection of meals. Skill number 8 is turning a simple pantry into many different meals. During difficult times, households often relied on a small group of affordable staples that stored well and could be combined in several ways. Instead of buying ingredients for isolated recipes, build a flexible meal formula: one grain or starch, one source of protein, vegetables, and a layer of flavor. Rice, pasta, oats, potatoes, canned beans, or dried beans can provide the base, depending on your budget and eating habits. The same ingredients can become savory porridge, soup, stew, a rice dish, or a warm grain bowl. Seasonings, sauces, and different cuts can change the meal without requiring an entirely new shopping list. Check the pantry before planning meals, move older packages to the front, and buy more only when you know how they will be used. For dried beans and other foods that require soaking or thorough cooking, always follow the package directions. The goal is not to eat the same dish every day. It is to keep a small but flexible foundation of ingredients so you can reliably make a meal. Next, we will apply the same use what you have mindset to cleaning the home. Skill number 9 is cleaning with the simplest product that can do the job. A cabinet crowded with specialized bottles does not necessarily make a home cleaner. Sometimes it only costs more and makes product misuse more likely. Start with a clean cloth, water, and soap, or a mild cleaner suitable for the surface. Ordinary dirt generally needs to be cleaned first. Disinfectants should be used only when needed and always according to the label. Read the compatible surfaces, amount, contact time, and protective equipment instructions. If a product requires dilution, use only the manufacturer's ratio. Do not invent a formula, and never transfer chemicals into beverage containers. Most importantly, do not mix cleaning products. In particular, never combine chlorine bleach with ammonia, vinegar, acids, or any other cleaner. Such mixtures can release dangerous toxic fumes. Open windows or increase ventilation when directed, wear appropriate protection, and store products in their original containers away from children. The saving comes from using the right product, in the right amount, in the right place, not from a risky homemade mixture. Next, we will reduce laundry costs by using air and sunlight. Skill number 10 is letting air perform part of the work currently done by a machine. Air drying can reduce the electricity used by a dryer while limiting the high heat that may shrink, fade, or wear down certain fabrics. After washing, gently shake out each item to reduce wrinkles and leave space between garments for airflow. Shirts can hang on sturdy hangers. Towels and heavier items should be distributed evenly, so they do not stretch the fabric or unbalance the drying rack. Read the care label before choosing a location. Sunlight may help with some items, but it can also fade dark or delicate fabrics. Dry those pieces in the shade or turn them inside out. When drying indoors, choose a well-ventilated area and manage excess humidity. Do not drape wet laundry over a heater, block walkways, or use an unstable rack. Clothing should be completely dry before it is folded or stored. You do not need to abandon the dryer entirely. Begin with a small load, lightweight pieces, or days with suitable weather. Every load dried naturally saves energy and reduces wear on clothing. Next, we will stop conditioned air from escaping through small gaps around the home. Skill number 11 is preventing the air you paid to heat or cool from escaping. A small gap around a door or window can make a room uncomfortable and force the heating or cooling system to run longer. On a windy day, inspect the frames with your eyes and hands. Look for compressed weather stripping, light beneath a door, cracks in old sealant, or a curtain moving while the window is closed. Never use an open flame to detect drafts. For a small door gap, a properly sized door sweep or adhesive weather strip may provide a simple solution. Where sealant has separated around a fixed frame, remove only the loose material and use a product specifically rated for the location, surface, and indoor or outdoor conditions. Do not seal ventilation openings, exhaust fans, window drainage holes, or the combustion air supply for fuel-burning appliances. If you find mold, rotten wood, a warped frame, or a suspected fuel gas issue, contact a qualified professional. After the repair, open and close the door several times to confirm that the lock and hinges still work correctly. A quick inspection before the hot or cold season can improve comfort without changing the thermostat. Next, we will use curtains as a flexible layer of temperature control. Skill number 12 is treating window coverings as temperature control tools, not merely decoration. The way curtains and shades are opened and closed throughout the day can affect how much sunlight and heat enter a room. In hot weather, observe which windows receive direct sun at different times. Close shades before intense sunlight reaches the glass, especially at windows exposed to afternoon sun. When outdoor conditions become cooler than indoors and it is safe to do so, reopen them for daylight or ventilation. In cold weather, open coverings at sunny windows to benefit from daytime warmth, then close them after the sun has gone, to reduce the chill felt near the glass. Do not allow curtains to cover radiators, vents, or other heat sources. Coverings should fit the window and operate easily. Check cords, rods, and mounting points. Keep blind cords away from young children and pets. If curtains become damp or condensation persists, address the ventilation or moisture source rather than simply hiding it. Try a simple schedule for 1 week. Close coverings before the hottest period and open them when the light is useful. Adjust the routine for your climate, window direction, and household habits. Next, we will use that daylight to illuminate only the places that need it. Skill number 13 is lighting the task rather than automatically lighting the entire home. When you are reading, cooking, or repairing a small item, one well-positioned light is often more useful than several bulbs operating in empty areas. During the day, place a desk or reading chair near a window to use natural light without creating screen glare. After dark, use a desk lamp, under cabinet light, or reading lamp to concentrate illumination on the surface being used. Choose a bulb with brightness and color suitable for the task, and never exceed the fixture's rated wattage. High-efficiency LED bulbs generally use less electricity and last longer than traditional incandescent bulbs. Keep shades, bulbs, and reflective surfaces free of dust after the fixture has been switched off and allowed to cool. Never cover a lamp with fabric, place a hot bulb near curtains, or run a power cord across a walkway. Replace damaged cords or sockets instead of continuing to use them. Finally, build the habit of switching off lights when leaving a room, and keep only genuinely necessary security lighting on. A home does not need to be dark, it needs intentional light. Next, we will find devices that quietly consume electricity even when they appear to be off. Skill number 14 is finding devices that continue to use a small amount of electricity even when they appear to be off. Televisions, game consoles, speakers, printers, and chargers may maintain indicator lights, clocks, or standby modes while plugged in. Walk through each room and create 3 groups. The first must remain powered, including refrigerators, medical equipment, alarms, security devices, or essential home networking. The second requires a proper shutdown process, such as computers and storage devices. The third can be fully disconnected when not in use. For the third group, place related devices on a certified switched or smart power strip. A television, game console, and speakers, for example, can be switched off together after proper shutdown. Chargers that are not being used can be unplugged. Never connect multiple power strips together. Exceed their rating or use one with a damaged cord, housing, or plug. Do not cut power to a device that is updating, writing data, or required to maintain an important setting. Begin with one entertainment center or workspace and see whether the new habit remains convenient. The goal is not to unplug everything. It is to remove electricity use that provides no value. Next, we will record small savings and see how they accumulate. Skill number 15 is recording money in and money out before attempting to cut expenses. In many households during difficult times, a small ledger turns separate purchases into a picture that could be seen and managed. You do not need a complicated application. Divide one page into 4 columns: date, item purchased, spending category, and amount. Record transactions as soon as practical, including small ones, but do not keep account numbers or sensitive information in a notebook that could be lost. At the end of each week, total categories such as food, utilities, transportation, and household supplies mark expenses that are fixed, those that vary each month, and infrequent costs so they do not become surprises when they return. Do not use the ledger to criticize yourself. Use it to ask a practical question: which expenses provided value, which were duplicated, and which could be planned more effectively? Choose one small adjustment for the next week, instead of trying to cut everything at once. After a month, compare your results with your own previous month, not with another household. A number that has been recorded is easier to improve than a vague feeling. Next, we will inventory what is already at home before adding anything else to the shopping list. Skill number 16 is checking before buying. A duplicate purchase does more than consume money. It takes up space, becomes easy to forget, and may deteriorate before it is ever used. Choose 3 areas where duplicates commonly appear: the pantry, the cleaning cupboard, and the toolbox. You do not need to record every small object. Track only the item name, approximate quantity, what has been opened, and what should be used first. Group similar items together so the total is visible. Move older or open supplies forward, while still checking condition, labels, and storage directions. Damaged, leaking, unlabeled, or unsafe products should not be kept merely to avoid waste. Before each shopping trip, spend 5 minutes reviewing the list. Separate out, running low, and would like. Only the first category clearly belongs in the cart immediately. The other 2 can be considered against the plan and budget. A sheet inside a cupboard door, a phone note, or a small whiteboard can all work, provided everyone in the household updates the same place. Once you know what you own, you also notice items used too rarely to justify ownership. Next, we will borrow or share those tools instead of buying them. Skill number 17 is borrowing before buying an item needed for only a few hours. A drill, ladder, specialized cleaning tool, or set of event supplies can consume money and storage space for years after a single use. First, ask whether ownership is truly necessary. Check a tool library, community center, rental service, or a trusted acquaintance. Agree on the exact item, included accessories, pickup date, and return date. When receiving the item, inspect its condition with the owner. Borrow a power tool only when you know how to use it. Have suitable instructions, and all guards remain in place. Do not use cracked cords, damaged plugs, fractured blades, or equipment showing unusual behavior. While it is borrowed, keep the item dry and clean, and use it only for its intended purpose. If damage occurs or an accessory is lost, report it immediately, rather than concealing it or attempting an unauthorized repair. Return everything on time, clean, and in the condition agreed upon. Sharing saves money only when it builds trust. Begin with one simple, low-risk item and record who has what. If an item is needed frequently, ownership may make more sense. Next, we will learn how to evaluate a secondhand item before deciding to buy it. Skill number 18 is buying secondhand, because an item still has useful value, not merely because it is inexpensive. A solid wooden table, simple hand tool, or durable kitchen item may provide years of service when carefully inspected. Before viewing it, write down the required size, function, and maximum acceptable price. On-site, check stability, cracks, missing parts, damp odors, signs of pests, and likely repair costs. Test every function only with the seller's permission and under safe conditions. For products with a model number, check recall information and manufacturer guidance. Electrical items should have intact cords, plugs, housings, and rating labels. Do not buy equipment with scorch marks, improvised cord repairs, or unusual noise, odor, or heat. Use additional caution with children's products and protective equipment. Child car seats, helmets, and other impact protection items require a known history, all parts and instructions, and compliance with the manufacturer's service life guidance. If those facts cannot be verified, pass on the item. Add the purchase price, transport, cleaning, replacement parts, and repair time. If the total approaches the cost of a more suitable new item, the low initial price is not a bargain. Buying used well means choosing something with proven usefulness. Next, we will create a maintenance calendar to keep every item working longer. Skill number 19 is doing a small task at the right time, so a large one is less likely to arrive unexpectedly. Maintenance is often neglected not because it is too difficult, but because we remember it only after something begins making noise, leaking, or stops working. Start with one calendar page, divided into 3 rhythms: monthly, seasonal, and manufacturer-directed. Each month, choose one short inspection round. Look for water leaks, check accessible filters, observe power cords, and tighten simple handles when needed. Seasonally, inspect door seals, safely accessible drainage areas, drying racks, tools, and places showing moisture. Smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, and other safety devices must be tested, maintained, and replaced according to manufacturer instructions and local requirements. Do not load too many tasks into one day. Record the estimated time, required supplies, and which jobs require a professional. Do not climb beyond your ability, open electrical panels, interfere with gas lines, or remove components the instructions do not identify as user accessible. After each task, record the date and one line about the condition. The next inspection will be faster because you know what changed. A maintenance calendar does not make a home perfect. It makes problems visible earlier. That leads to the final skill, deciding whether to repair, replace, or wait. Skill number 20 is pausing before turning a problem into a purchase. When an item stops working as expected, place 3 cards in front of you: repair, replace, or wait. The first question is always safety. If the item involves electricity, fuel gas, brakes, protective equipment, children, or a load-bearing structure and shows damage, stop using it. Evaluation should be left to a qualified professional or performed strictly according to manufacturer guidance. If the item is safe to inspect, identify the specific fault. Is it truly broken, or does it need cleaning, tightening, a consumable part, or a settings adjustment? Then compare repair cost, remaining service life, frequency of use, and the cost of a suitable replacement. The wait card is for non-urgent items. Check whether you can borrow, use an alternative, buy an appropriate secondhand version, or simply continue without it. Set a waiting period before purchasing so the sense of urgency has time to settle. Repair is not always correct, and replacement is not always wasteful. Wisdom lies in choosing the option that is safe. reasonable in total cost, and genuinely useful to the household. That is the core of all 20 skills. Care for what you have, and buy something new only when it is truly needed. These 20 skills do not require you to change your entire life in one day. Choose one small action you can take this week. Mend a loose seam, check the cupboard before shopping, or record your spending for 7 days. If one skill in this video reminded you of something a parent or grandparent once did, share that story in the comments. Those ordinary lessons are precisely the memories worth preserving. Subscribe to Forgotten Home Wisdom for more practical skills that helped households make better use of what they already owned. Until next time, care for your belongings, care for your home, and give every small saving the chance to add up.